trying to pull together the world of technology, design, systems, and everything else we deal with on a day-to-day basis. Back 30 or 40 years ago, when technology started becoming an essential part of big corporations, whether it was document management, project management, accounting, sales, etc., big companies were operating in silos. This means that each department purchased their own software for themselves. Accounting got its software, sales got its own software, etc., etc. None of these software systems could effectively share data. So there were some employees whose sole job is to take data from one system and through data entry, copy it over to another system. It's a really terrible job. I feel really bad for them. So accounting had this one record and sales had this other record, and the data might be the same or it might be incomplete, or the person that was copying it from one place to the other misentered it. So the information could be totally incorrect and mismatched. It was a cluster. And if you work in one of those corporations, I'm sure you agree with me, it still is. You don't even have to work in one of these large corporations to know that these silos are still causing problems today. Let's say you're calling your cell phone provider. You dial them up, and the person on the line tells you that they can only provide you with some information about your account. They advise you to go into the store to get the other set of information. You're already frustrated. And then when you get to the store after waiting 45 minutes so that you can finally talk to someone, that person has only some of the same information about your plan that the person on the phone said, but they tell you something that's in direct contradiction to what that person had told you before. Okay, so we have different software systems for different parts of the business. The other problem is that the user interfaces for most of these enterprise software systems just look like a bunch of forms and fields, just all the data from the database has regurgitated onto a screen. You have to use sales software that was designed by an engineer that doesn't actually know anything about how you do your job. That makes no sense. They have long ignored usability, human factors, ergonomics, and UX design. It was designed with little to no consideration for usability. I remember my first job working for a consulting company on a large utility project. I had my first client-facing meeting with the team's manager. When I asked him if I could meet with the employees who'd be using the software, the manager said, "That won't be necessary. I can tell you everything." And they have to use the software because it's their job. Management who purchased the software forced the system on their employees without consideration for the unique ways in which their company did business. This actually hasn't changed. Seriously, in a conversation a few weeks back, we came to the conclusion that Salesforce was like Lyme disease, starting in one place and slowly spreading its tentacles throughout the entire body, making the entire organization sick. So there's still a lot of opportunity to improve. As time went by, these big software companies tried to come up with mutually agreeable terms for data sharing, open data formats. They tried to build software to connect data from one system to another, but management priorities, strategies, and to be fair, egos really high up in the corporate ladder, they got in the way. Software is actually slowing employees down. While we watch companies cut headcount, they really could be skimming the fat off these bloated software systems, coming up with better technology that actually supports their core business lines rather than constraining them. Let's build technology that supports how we actually work so we can do awesome stuff. That was a doozy.